teams have accomplished over these years. And as a coach, my greatest reward is to see these young men mature into adults, and many of them have been very, very successful in their chosen profession and their family lives. And I feel that as a teacher coach, my efforts to help impact my players in even a small way has been fulfilled. And the lifelong friendships that I've made with my players, I hope will continue forever. I don't think any of my players from Montreal were able to make the trip tonight, but I do have a few of my former players from Minuteman, Eddie McGonigal, Paul Clem, Donnie Howard and Steve Bowden. A couple of my players from Melrose are here tonight. I'd like to acknowledge Lon Lucas, who's currently the head basketball coach at Austin Prep, and Mr. Rob Dolan, who was on my great Middlesex League team in 1989, who was just recently voted in as the mayor of Melrose. So I am very, very proud of not only these gentlemen here tonight, but all of their former teammates. An old saying in the coaching ranks goes that a head coach is only as good as his assistants, and I concur wholeheartedly. I've been extremely fortunate over the years to have many fantastic, loyal, and dedicated assistant coaches that have supported me. People like Victor Norello, Gary Hart, Mike McQuilkin, the late great Cliff Somerville from Melrose, who was my freshman coach for 16 years, and many others have truly made my job a lot easier and contributed a great deal to the success that our teams had. And thank you, gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart. Along with that, I've been very fortunate to have worked under some great athletic directors and personnel. People like Vandy French, who, when I was student teaching at age 21, gave me the opportunity to get my first coaching job as a JV coach in Winchester. Mr. Tony DeTesso, who is being inducted into the Melrose Hall of Fame tomorrow night. Tony gave me the opportunity to coach at a Division I school in Melrose in the Middlesex League, and I appreciate that. Mr. Sonny Lane, who took over from Tony when Tony retired in 1987, and Sonny was my mentor for the past 13 years while we were together over in Melrose. And not only that, I was on Sonny's first basketball team as a sophomore here in Watertown in 1967. And Sonny went on from there to head the basketball program at Wakefield High School for 19 years and had a great deal of success and is a Hall of Fame member of the Mass Basketball Coaches. A couple other gentlemen who are here tonight from Melrose that I really appreciate being here. I work very closely with Frank Mayo and Ralph Henneberry in the athletic department, and also Peter Dolan, who was very, very supportive as a school committee man in Melrose during my tenure there. All outstanding and well-respected individuals in athletics and also in education. I received my training, as mentioned, as a teacher coach at the greatest coaching factory in the country, that's Springfield College. As the well-known author George Plimpton once quoted when he came to speak at one of my classes in 1971, and I quote, "I am honored and pleased to be here at the Harvard of the Jockstraps." I had 4 truly enjoyable years at Springfield and made some great friends, particularly while playing football, including Mr. Bill Labadoni, who is a dear friend of mine. He was an outstanding defensive back and a great athlete at Mackinac High School. Mr. Bill Rice, who was my college roommate, who came up from Rhode Island tonight, who was a great wide receiver catching passes from Gino, and is one of the top salesmen in the sporting goods business in the country. And then, as Bob mentioned, Mr. Gene DiFilippo, who you probably don't know, made a special effort to come in here, flew just in from Indianapolis to be here tonight. And Gino, as we all know, has just done an unbelievable job as far as turning around the program at Boston College. And it really means a lot that these gentlemen are here to share the evening with me. As my wife Roberta has stated periodically over the years, you can take the boy out of Watertown, but you can't take the Watertown out of the boy. And that's so true. I wouldn't trade any of my early years growing up in Watertown for anything. And probably the greatest decision that my father ever made, besides marrying my mother, was moving to Watertown from Medford back in 1956. As we all know, Marshall Street is right around the corner from Victory Field, and as Kelly Kazoja mentioned, we shared time over at the park almost constantly. During the summer, myself, my brothers, my friends, including Peter Rufo, who was the first friend I ever met when I moved to Watertown, we'd be over at Victory Field at 8 o'clock waiting for the playgrounds to open up under the direction of Mr. Phil Costello, who was the recreation director at the time. And we'd spend all day, run home at noon to get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then head right back over to the park and spend the rest of the day and also into the night until my mother dragged us back for dinner. In the fall, it was Saturday morning tackle football games. You remember those, Peter? And after that, I'd head over to the varsity field, be the water boy for Coach Norton's great football teams for my Uncle Vic Palladino in the 50s and early 60s. And then, Sunday morning, right after church, we'd be back over there banging heads again. In the wintertime, when the town would freeze the tennis courts over, believe it or not, I'd be skating with my brother and his friends. We're not playing elementary school basketball for my dad's championship Phillips school teams. And then in the spring, it was Little League time, playing baseball for the legendary Jim Devlin in the Little League. I was very fortunate to have some outstanding coaches teach and work with me as I progressed on through high school. And there's no question in my mind that their influence rubbed off on me in a very positive way as I decided to pursue a coaching career. Individuals, as previously mentioned, Sonny Lane, Mr. Dick Berardino, who was my baseball coach and was my positional coach in football. Dave Hughes, who was a young coach at the time, who had a major influence on me deciding to go to Springfield College, who's had a remarkable stretch of victories and successes at Hopkinton High School. I was pleased to see Coach Pepe Smith here, who was one of my sophomore coaches. I enjoyed that immensely. Tom McGovern, who was my basketball coach, is not here tonight, but I had a great deal of respect for Coach McGovern and the values and the teachings that he bestowed upon all of us have a direct influence on my coaching career. Bob Dupree in the West Junior High and my dad were very instrumental in so many ways. Last and certainly not least, I must mention my high school football team, the 1968 Watertown High School Red Raiders. Some of my greatest and treasured memories are linked to my friendship and to my friends and teammates of the 68 squad. Some of who are here tonight. And I mentioned Peter Rufo already, who was one of our captains. Our other captain who's here, Steve Russo and Tony Krupe. I'm really pleased that you gentlemen could share this evening with me. A couple of our majorettes and Indians are here also, Sandy and Donna. I'm not going to forget you ladies. You were always very supportive through a tough season. And also our water boys. I mentioned John and Mark as my brothers, but they also served as water boys. And the third water boy, he was here early, but he had to leave, as hopefully will be the next governor of the state of Massachusetts. That's Warren Tolman. And as most of you historians are aware, our squad in '68 finished with an unblemished 0-9 record, the worst season in the 20th century of Watertown football. But however, despite the record, the players in our team were really no different than a lot of the athletes that are out here tonight. Maintaining the same kind of characteristics and similarities with maybe just a little less talent. First of all, we love the game of football, and we love the competition that it brought to us every Saturday. In our preparations prior to and during the season, we worked extremely hard, just as our coaches did. And we bonded as a close-knit unit, developing the needed teamwork, chemistry, pride, and sacrifice that's so needed in athletics today. And despite the fact that we never won a game, we never quit. And I know we were very proud to wear the red and black of Watertown High School. We learned a lot of lessons in life, especially understanding how to handle adversity, which has helped all of us in our adult lives. And there was no better classroom in that school as far as preparing us for the real world. And as a high school teacher coach, these are many of the same attributes that I feel are very important and integral to the learning process and values in participating in high school athletics. And I share this award tonight with everyone that I've been associated with in high school athletics, both as a player and as a coach. In closing, I'd like to dedicate this award to two members of my family who are not with us tonight in person, but definitely in spirit. First, to my younger brother, Andy, who passed away in 1979 at the age of 26. Andy, as many of you know, was an outstanding three-sport athlete at Watertown and who went on to Temple University on a football scholarship. Besides being a great athlete, he was either a better person, was my best friend. Secondly, to the true leader and head of the Pappas family, my mother, Dora. My mother was the greatest person that I've ever known. The love and the affection that she showed to both her husband and her four sons is indescribable. And the courage, the faith, the inspiration, and the strength that my mother displayed in her later years until she passed on in 1999 has had a profound influence on everyone's lives that she touched. And as a result, I accept this award in the memory of both Mom and my brother Andy. I thank you very much for this great honor.